Coach, he brings up a good point in keeping it about the kids. Have you felt that that's been lost over the past couple of years with the split and the public-private split in LHSAA?
Yes, sir. Over the years, we have kind of forgotten about the kids themselves. That's who end up play the game, they practice, they come to the school to play sports, and sometimes the adults get caught up in the limelight per se, and we try to put ourselves first. So if we put the kids first again, we'll be in a better position. But also, we got to be consistent. We can't have ups and downs every year. We got to come to a consensus also amongst coaches. Let's really get coaches really involved in the process. Sometimes people are voting on it, our principals vote on it, but sometimes coaches will have more insight about what should happen at our schools and with our athletic programs.
Now we're going to get away from the politics a little bit here, talk a little bit about the game on the field. I want to get you guys' thoughts on the growth of the spread offense, the kind of the basketball on grass, as Coach Ogeron will call it, and the way that 365 days a year guys are going out there and working on throwing it around. Is that something that you think is good for the sport of football, Coach Smith?
Well, the change of tempo in the game has definitely picked up year-round conditioning. Normally back then, early on, we'll just work out. Guys didn't have to worry about doing plyometric drills, doing certain stretches, but these days, it's year-round. Kids are doing extra work after school. During the school time, we're trying to find ways to get faster, put more time in. That just comes from colleges. We kind of branch off what the college game does. We'll come down to the high school game. So that's why you go to so many camps in the summertime and figure out what are they doing to maintain the tempo and the pace. I know I visited Auburn 2 summers ago just to try to find out how does the defense practice against that offense in practice. Because you got to find a way to keep up. And just that's something you got to keep up. The game keeps evolving.
Coach Smith, is it difficult to get your message across to your players that you want to be physical each and every Friday night, knowing that you have to maintain that emphasis on safety each week?
No, so I use the college game to kind of educate my kids about it. The rule they put in this year, you target throughout the game. I kind of put that rule in kind of in-house. If you get caught targeting, trying to be something, that's not how we want to play the ball game it was in high school. But back on the change of rules, Texas passed a rule, a House bill last week, House Bill 767, and they mandated the mandatory heart test and EKGs for all Texas high school football players. I think Louisiana should be right behind them in changing that rule. A situation came up at Neville High School, and Coach McCarty and his staff acted real swift on their feet, and a great job to them again. Go back to hearing how the event played out that day. They had the AD machine. They saved that kid's life. And I don't want to get caught in a situation again in Louisiana where you just had a chance to screen that guy's heart. You had a heads up knowing his prior history. So safety is important, but I think the biggest safety we're missing right now is testing the heart preseason.
Coach Smith, I'd imagine it's like on the field, if you have a guy like Cameron Lewis who's taking care of his work inside the school, it's much like a drill on the field. If he's the fastest, finishing the first, the rest of the team will follow.
Yes, sir. Cameron set a great example for our school and the entire school, and that's the MLK, our feeder programs. It's been a while since Wasman, a kid, a player, student athlete, commit early to a D1 school. And I think it just took the teams of like a West Monroe, the Neville, the Bastrop, the Ruston, OCS, all these schools, surrounding schools are getting kids in college, and when I got the job at Wasman, Cameron know what do I need to do to get on that stage. And of course he's blessed with the film, that comes natural ability, but he was working in the classroom, so I was just trying to put him in position to help him understand how to do it, and I showed him the ways to do it. Now he goes back in the locker room, we talk about ACT scores every day, have a competition about GPAs. We talk about tests we taking that day. So now in the weight room we're working out, but we're also talking about education all day. So kids hear about it. Kids naturally want to compete with each other, so they'll start talking about the test they took in 5th period, and I made 100, what did you make? You made 80. They'll go back and forth. So just making education fun and competing with it every day is just part of how I kind of mix it in at my school.
Coach Smith, with the evolution of the game on the field, have you guys seen an evolution in the game off the field as far as the weight room is concerned and being more emphasized on strength and having your guys ready to go?
Yeah, so I think just the evolution of just how we train our kids and things we ask our kids to do throughout a football game. Normally when I was in high school, we run eye backs, a lot of league plays. Now we're doing power, we're pulling. So kids have to go east and west, north and south. We ask them to jump, run, stop on a dime. For my team, Cameron will be doing kickoff returns. He'll be playing cornerback, quarterback. So therefore, we must train these kids and play different positions. Different skills come play in different positions. You just put a kid out there to play cornerback, but he can't backpedal and keep his eyes forward and then jump. So you must train those kids to understand that.
Coach Smith, as a guy that's working and building a program, seeing these guys up here, Coach McCarty's got his jewelry on and everything else, what's it like for you to be up here and competing against these guys and knowing that iron sharpens iron? The tougher your opponents are, the better you have to be.
Just being on this panel with these coaches means a lot to me. Coach McCarty, I watched him. I played against him. I was at Carroll. Coach Laird coached me at Washita. I knew Coach Bradshaw, and I was kind of at Washita playing ball against him. And Coach Rollins at West Monroe. So I've kind of come up watching these coaches coach and work. And like you're saying, what means a lot in the community is playing for your team. You expect the Neville, the West Monroe, the Bashford, the Ruston to make a run. I remember in school, I remember all those teams making a run. Now I'm at Wasson High School. It's been a while since we made a run, so I'm trying to put that pride back into our community. So now I'm better say, like Coach McCarty has his jewelry on, he has his ring. He got his ring last year. Coach Bradshaw could pull one out. I'm sure Coach Laird had some when he played. Coach Aldridge could pull some out. I want to pull some out for my team and for my community. And it goes deeper just my school. It goes to everyone that talks about Wasson High School football. The stage you try to put yourself on, your kids on, that's very important to me. Even with the recruiting goals, like Coach Bradshaw says, if I can get a Rashard Lawrence that never ever get recruited, they're going to come in and siphon out through Wasson High School. But our job is, as a community, to keep our kids in track with grades, qualifying to do come through. You'll have some off of those colleges. So it means a lot to be on this panel. One day I would like to say I got to win against each one of these coaches as a head coach, but I will wait my turn. I'm not going to step out like that. But I do play West Monroe and Ruston this year, and hopefully it'll come out for me.
Coach Laird, finally. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for our high school coaches. Coach McCarty from Neville, Coach Bradshaw from Bashford, Coach Laird from Ruston, Coach Smith from Washburn, and Coach Arledge from West Monroe. Thank you very much for your time, gentlemen. Really appreciate it.